You may wonder to yourself, why am I currently doing this right now? Here's the thing. I posted on Twitter that if I were to have reached 600 followers or 100 YouTube subs, I would make a PowerPoint presentation as to why Red Arcueid is best girl, because I keep going on and on about it. I was like, sure, I'll post this later on, and maybe I'll make this by like next year or something. I got it within like a couple of months, which is honestly pretty good, and it's still going up by the time I'm talking about this. Very, very nice stuff. I appreciate you guys for doing all this and for supporting me. So it's essentially like a little side bet with my viewers. Hence why I'm doing this now. It's probably gonna be like a short stream, probably gonna be like an hour long. Like I don't think this is gonna be too long. It's only 8 slides, but I'm gonna go into detail. Because I am pretty passionate about this. I created a whole PowerPoint presentation about this. I gotta put the energy into it. And with the energy, I must always do funny voices because that helps produce my point faster. Now, let's start with the title screen. Why Red Arcueid is best girl? By me. With courtesy of in-game screenshots, Type Lumina memes, and the works. Let us change the music real quick, and I will go on to the first slide. Content of this presentation will entail who is Arcueid Brunstad. We gotta go into that first. Who is Red Arcueid? Melty Blood Type Lumina. Why I love her. The positives and negatives, and closing statements. Very, very nice and straight to the point. We gotta get into a bit of Tsukihime lore and Melty Blood lore here. We're lore masters today, which I thankfully do know because one, the Type Lumina archives does give you context, and I did finish the arc route for Tsukihime, so I at least know that context. That's why we have the first slide. Alright, without further ado, let's move on to the first slide. Who is Arcueid Brunstad? We have to delve into the little workings of, firstly, before we're going to Arcueid, we're going to talk about who is Arcueid as a character. Here's it. That is Arcueid Brunstad, courtesy of Tsukihime Remake Edition. Can't wait to play that come this next year, actually. Thank God for remakes. I will definitely play that on stream. I'm playing the original on my own time. Anyways, Arcueid, in the simplest terms, is a vampire princess who actually started her entire race. It's kind of a lore thing. Basically, the whole concept is Arcueid was basically what's called a true ancestor, and she's like, it's like the most, like, it's like the top tier of vampires. She has like all these really good abilities, and the fact that this little prick guy named Roa, she made it basically almost not really influenced, but it's more like he accidentally tricked her into slaughtering her entire race, so she's technically the only true ancestor left, and that's why she doesn't like blood for that same reason. We hate Roa in this house. Anyways, he heads to Misaki Town or Suyu Town, depending on which version of the game you're playing, either original or remake. And the first thing, and we have our protagonist called Shikitono. He's quite the guy. He had his own little lore too. I'll get into him later down in this life. So when he first spots her, as you can see in the right side, he follows her to her apartment and just shanks her. He just straight up just follows her and just kills her into 17 different pieces. That number's important, by the way. The thing is, because he didn't know she was a vampire, he just went off instincts. He just revived back, and she's able to do so, but it consumes a lot of her energy. But it took a little bit, but she comes back for Shikitono, super pissed off. She wants to get revenge. She basically traps him in an alley. But when she does that, when she finds good old Shikitono, after a lot of convincing and anime things, Shikitono joins her in order to find the other vampires that she's hunting before they devastate the town. She isn't really doing it for the sake of, oh, I'm gonna do it to be heroic, or I want to do it to save my family. No, I'm just gonna do it because I feel like doing it. There was no true other reason, but he gains a reason because lore. As you can see, you're gonna hear me say lore a lot. There is a lot of lore. Go read Tsukihime. Anyways, that's basically the general gist of Arcueid as just a character. That's like the general gist of the thing. They walk around, they beat up some vampires, they get to talk, he helps understand more about the world and like the little things in life, you know, like eating burgers, as you do. And that's generally the gist of it. Alright, next slide. Now, who is Red Arcueid? Red Arcueid is run into a variety of names, like Red Arcueid, Red Arc, Quark, etc. Her whole existence is a giant what-if scenario. Basically, Red Arcueid is a personification of what happens if Arc gets into her vampiric urges. Because in the Arc route specifically, she almost gave into her vampiric urges by, almost biting him, even though she does not like blood. So she was like super close to like breaking, but thanks to the power of patience, we were able to stop that from happening. But it is a giant what if scenario. And then we got this guy over here. His name's Warakia. He is something, that's for sure. Basically, in the original Melty Blood fighting game, Warakia made a reality called the Night of Tatari. Very, very scary stuff. He created a reality in where people's biggest fears come to realization. That's why Nanaya Shiki's in the game, that's why Lemurian Akiha's in the game, and that's also why we have Red Arcueid as our first appearance. And it's essentially, she, for example, is for a what if scenario. So there's that, of course. Now let's fast forward to 2 years ago, almost near to the day, but a little bit off because the anniversary was just recently. We presented with current Red Arcueid, as we will refer to her. She's just kind of here now. She's just kind of there. It's kind of implied that she's kind of just her own character, or it's either one or two scenarios. It's either her own character, or she's still Arc, but vampiric urges stuff. I'm not sure which between of the two is it, but I'm fairly sure it's the former. Don't quote me on that. And she just kind of appears time to time in different character stories. Like she appears in Boss Rush 1. She of course appears in her own story. She appears in the Power TL story. She appears in a couple of stuff, not a whole lot, but she appears in them. It's very, very nice. And also, her main thing is that she just really wants to kill Shiki, because imagine the scenario that I explained to you where Arcueid had died. Now take a what if scenario. What if Arcueid died, revived, and then became Red Arc? And now her entire thing is she just really wants to kill Shiki as a whole revenge thing. She's understandably a little pissed off. Just a little bit. Alright, now we move on to Type Lumina. With Rourke's reintroduction in Type Lumina, he's given what we call one giant blow-up, as I would call it. So basically, to put it simply, she gave her a great character design and made it even better. So here's original Red Arc because of Melty Blood stuff, and here is the Type Lumina version. So they took an already good character design and made it better, which is like really, really good in my personal opinion. So the key difference is that she lost like the black eyes and yellow pupils with the black dot in the center, and just gave her pure red eyes. It's almost akin to, like, if you think of an Dark Knight Star Wars turns, think of it like the Jing Liu ult animation, but it's always there. That type of red pupils. It is very, very nice, and they also kept the classic purple dress as well, and even get a little cut in as well. Very good stuff. And another difference that instead of the really wild hair, they gave her like it's not as wild anymore, but she's by no means mellowed out. I will definitely touch on that for sure. The extra example is that her voice actor went from wow, she looks like she's really, really pissed off and really, really angry to if evil and crazy, why hot. That's how I kept describing present day Red Arc. It is a very, very clear example of that. I will turn off the music temporarily because I did record 3 different voice lines of original Arc, Red Arc, and another voice in Red Arc to get a clear experience. Let me do that for you right now. As you can see, very angry, very wants to kill you. She's just really, really pissed off, and understandably so. Here is current Red Arc.
面白い。まだまだ。まだまだ。楽しみなさい。消えちゃいなさい。もういい、知らない。このままいなくなればいいんだ。
Very, very, as you can see, the difference is very, very great. The the they made her hot, and I and it makes it so much better too because there's just a clear, very clear difference, and it's great. That too. Also she has she has that in there too. Very, very good stuff. I definitely improve. Now we're going into the why. You must be asking me why Red Arcueid specifically. Okay, the first thing first. She definitely is capable of balling. She has the funny grab move. She do be balling. Next point. The voice actors, the glow up for Type Luma definitely grew it for me. I was asked in the past whether it was Olivier or Nuvier, as you can see by examples 2 and 3, as I just told you. I definitely prefer the Type Luma version. It is so good. It's like a nice contrast. It isn't always pissed off. It's like playing with your food and then pissed off at the same time. I think having that range is really, really nice, in my personal opinion. Next, between you and me, I do like me my share of woman heals. I have to admit that to you guys. It is very, very nice. He really does make it work, and Behold, as you will know from C, custom variant right here. It's not like, as people notice, like, what did you really change per se? You can see I changed it to where there's no stockings. I made the dress black, and I basically kept everything else. That's like the main 2 things I wanted because the design itself was already so good. So I just changed those 2 things, and honestly, I think it honestly looks better, in my personal opinion. The next point is the way she plays in Melty Luma is like running at you as like a giant freight train. You basically run up on people with super armor moves and just keep them in a corner forever, basically. You gotta play her like super aggressively. At least I think that's how I play characters in general. I play characters super aggressively in fighting games. I don't know the meaning of zoning or waiting for an opportunity. I just run up on people. That's probably why I like playing Shiki so much. I just run up, do lows, and do funny kick moves. It is very, very cool. Right. Next point. Yeah, I think even with all her bloodlust, she still has like the little bit of Arcueid in her. If you think of it from the second contest, it's actually really cute because one of the examples is like if Shiki were to like lose against in Type Lumina, if Shiki loses fights against Arcueid like really badly, like I think over like a life bar badly, he basically comes like she has those little points where it's like there's playing with your food red arc, there's crazy red arc, and then there's the tiny bit of normal Arcueid that comes out from your time with them again. This is very, very nice. Next point, I think he's already attached to one of the most beautiful Tsukihime heroines to ever bless us, being Arcueid. And Arcueid herself is silly. Arcueid is a very, very silly girl. She does very funny, silly things. So we gotta appreciate her for that. Like, you know, to fix my wound, I must duct tape my stomach. As you do. The little stuff helps with that for sure. And also the biggest example is female fatales are by definition very hot. Like, you can't name me one female fatale is like, wow, she's really hot. Just by definition alone. And they're described as very hot, dangerous women, as I make more on that. And Arcueid is pretty much that to an absolute T. I definitely agree for that for sure. Next point. Now we're going to the positives and negatives. Like, hey, you want red arc as your waifu? Now here's what would happen if that were to happen. One, as you will probably guess, if Shiki Tono, or if you, who wants to hunt, she's completely devoted to you and you alone. So you have that looking forward to. There's no cheating in this relationship, if you can call it a relationship. The second positive point with her being, you know, a vampire, she's like super strong basically, and she won't be dying anytime soon because she'll be constantly getting her nutrients, getting blood, getting stronger, repeat cycle. So she won't be dying anytime soon, unless it's someone really, really strong. The physical, basically her physically is, I mean, look at her. She's great. You gotta admit, her appearance physically is absolutely stunning. Yes, that is biased, but I'm biased, okay? The fourth one, if you can call it a positive and a negative at the same time, is with her constantly chasing you and you running away, you'll definitely increase the chances of like your stamina increasing like a lot. Like she's constantly be on your ass, and because, hence talking point 2 of, you know, her being a vampire, she's gonna be after you for a while. So you best have a lot of stamina for yourself. That's a warning for you from me to you. Now it is time for the negative. The biggest negative is that she's, you know, constantly hunting you down, hence by positive 4 / negative 1. So you gotta like be constantly like, is she here? Is she over there? Is she watching me from the window side? Oh my god, she's right there. I better start booking it. So yeah, definitely watch your back. The second negative is if you get dragged into a fight, as you can see by bottom quote, bottom right, he says, she is keen for suffering. She will make you suffer and then kill you. She do be one of those. And be sure to watch out for that, because you're gonna be in for a long fight. The third negative is he's actually trying to save her bloodlust, kill you, or if character is Shiki Tono, both. So she's not getting fixed anytime soon. This is the character you are getting, and there's no changing that. Even if no matter how much of, oh, I can fix her. This is no, this is a lost cause. This one is a positive and a negative at the same time. As I mentioned, literally unfixable, so there's no going back. It depends on, wow, this is Red Arcueid. She's really hot and she's really strong. Versus, oh, this is Red Arcueid. He has next to no arc rates. He's probably going to shoot me if I've been looking for the wrong way. That is oh boy. Look out for that. Alright, time for the closing statement. Closing statement. Red Arcueid is an unhinged vampiric monster. And a hot woman. I will fully admit to that. She's amazing though. I love her. She'll definitely more likely just kill you outright or toy with you until you break, as we have noticed by the last quote. As we know, he will toy with you, not straight up kill you. But we do stand Red Arcueid in this house. She do be different. Because we are Red Arcueid stands in this house, and I will not take anything less. Putting that aside, she's definitely really different from the rest of the cast because of just how she functions and how different she is as a concept, where she's a what-if scenario that actually came true, and it's just, you don't really get that in anime. You may get similar stuff, but not in this context. Being one of the very few female fatales within the game, at least from what I know of, or not even in the game, in the series, she able to present herself in a definitely unique and definitely sexy light. I said light. Sexy light. I will really admit to that. It wasn't bias talking. This is fact. Basically, to sum up, Red Arcueid is hot. She's amazing. You should all think this too. Thus concludes my TED Talk. And there you are. That is the full Red Arcueid presentation as to why she is best girl, and you should think that too. And thus ends my PowerPoint presentation.